Right, let's review this then. It's a Bosch washer dryer, WDNSX86W, and it's currently on the market for £319.99 in Argos. Right. So let's take a look at it then. Well, it comes with an 8kg load for washing and a 6kg load for drying. It has sensor dry, tumble drying. It has quite a lot of programs. It has a 1 hour wash and dry. Now, right, the one thing that is different between this one and the one you will actually get is that, well, the one that this will be sold with it, but basically all machines come with this piece of plastic in it. Now the only downside with this plastic is that it actually does seem to deteriorate over time a little bit, so yeah, the colour doesn't look quite right, it looks a little bit off. Anyway, I took it off so we can film anyway, because even with a clear one it will still bounce all the light back. Right, so to open a door, you put your fingers in the side here, and then just pull towards you, and that opens the door up. We've got a 31cm opening, which is quite small, considering it's got quite a large door on it, but even so, it's enough to load up. We've got this pattern drum. It's a honeycomb design cross with the diamond drum design from Samsung, so it's a Samsung / Miele kind of cross kind of thing. Obviously it's there to help reduce pulling and pilling on your clothes to make them last longer. Here we've got what looks like to be a nozzle for a jet, except this doesn't have a jet and that's not open. So, and then at the top here we have our hole for our dryer. At the bottom we've got a filter. There's no pipe on the filter housing to drain the water off, but we have got a filter that can open up and therefore we can clean. Right, so we turn on using this button here. Now, the one little repair I've had to do with this machine is I've had to repair this button. It did break underneath here, and I managed to glue it together. The other actual main problem why this was here is that the door lock had broken, and the other problem was the plug had decided to fuse on the live, so it wasn't sending any power through, and that was the actual moulded plug as well. So it's now got a rewired plug on instead. Brand new plug, brand new door lock. This has been glued, but it fully works now. Although it looks like it's been done like that for some time, because I got this with these tiny marks in, and obviously it's where it's got stuck and then they've had to get it out. To be honest, that might have been one of the reasons why we ended up with the problems that this has. Other than that, it's quite a nice machine to use. So first off, actually we'll go to my cycle, which is right at the top here. Now preset, when you get this brand new, the Cotton Eco cycle will be preset into my cycle, but you can preset a common setting that you use all the time, i.e. let's say you use synthetic 60, so use set synthetic 60, push the spin button for 3 seconds and that will save it to my cycle, so you don't have to keep going to synthetic 60 and setting stuff all the time. And actually this will probably come in quite useful, as you will see in a minute. Anyway, first program is the 1 hour wash and dry. Now this is a complete program of washing and drying all in one go, but it's only 59 minutes long and it's only made for 1 kilogram, so maybe 3 or 4 hand towels or a couple of shirts or just an outfit like a t-shirt and a pair of trousers. It will get to your clothes mid-dry. You can change the temperature. It's preset at 40 and it's preset at 1400 RPM. It allows you to change the spin on this program, but I don't know why, since you shouldn't be able to. But one key thing I found that this doesn't actually heat up to 40 at all on this program. At best it probably might heat up to 30 if you're lucky. But that's what this is made for. It's 1 kilogram of very lightly soiled items. Right, the cotton cycle. This is the normal cotton cycle. So if you select 60, it will heat 60. If you select 40, which it is, it will go to 40. This you can also go up to 90 degrees. We can have cold, 20, 30, and then 40. And that's all your variable temperature options on this. It presets at 800, which is quite annoying because this is just a cotton cycle, so it should be preset at 1400. It would do on every other single brand of washing machine, but not Bosch for some reason. So our spin choices are 1400, turn it off and you get no spin, 600, 800, 1000, and then 12. We've got dry over here. We've got minus dry, normal dry, and plus dry. In terms of like, I don't know, the indesit, plus dry tends to be like extra dry, whereas the middle one's more like cupboard dry, and then minus dry is obviously iron dry, which will leave the clothes damp. We've got a delay timer up to 24 hours. You can continuously wash and dry 6 kilo on the cotton cycle. We've got extra options here. So with this, you cycle through the options by pressing the function button to what you want, and then confirm with the select button which options you want, like so. And then go through them again and turn them all back off. And then we'll describe them. So the top one is the pre-wash. Obviously adds on around 25 minutes. Cycle at the start, heats up to about 30 degrees. It's there for removing more like physical dirt such as mud, dust, etc. Though it could be used to pre-treat stains before the main wash. Intensive modifies the wash a little bit. It adds on 10 minutes to the cycle. Then we've got time save. So if you notice on the program dial here, we've got these here, and these basically say where the time save is available on these programs. Time save can also be used with pre-wash, intensive, extra rinse, and then finally the bottom one, which is easy iron, but easy iron is still available even up to 1400 RPM. Now, all options are available with each other. Intensive, for example, with the quick only adds on 6 minutes, without it adds on 10. So it modifies everything, the quick option. Then we'll go on to synthetics then. So synthetics, right. So max load for synthetics is 4 kilogram, half load. Max drying is also actually the same for some reason, though I don't really recommend it. Obviously we can wash and dry all in one go here. That's another thing as well. Everything that's orange here basically allows you to wash and dry continuously. Or basically select drying. The ones that are fully orange, so this one and this one, are basically where drying is automatic, or all part of that cycle where it's optional, where the orange with white. If it's got the grey, there's no drying available with those programs. So it's quite good how it's represented. Anyway, synthetics, half can go up to 60 degrees, we can go up to 1200 RPM. Obviously we've got the function of the time save there, which is pretty good. Brings it more in line with other machines. Then we've got baby care. Again, this allows you to wash half a load of more delicate laundry. It goes up to 40 degrees only. Again, limited final spin, but you can dry as well, which is a bit unusual. The drying temperature can be quite hot on normal dry only, as well as the cotton cycle. I imagine that it's actually a bit less hot on the other cycles. Then we've got mixed cycle. You can wash up to a full load of 8 kilo for washing only, or again 6 kilo of wash and dry continuously. We can have 60 and 90, and look at the time for that, 1 hour. But what gets more impressive is when we select time save, 1 hour 7, which makes it the quickest 90-degree wash cycle on any machine I have ever seen, ever. We can also go up to a full spin, and we can have any temperature we want. So it's really flexible mix. It's made more for light soiled clothes, so don't be washing heavily soiled clothes because it won't really wash them good. Right, then we've got dry only. Now, if you press start on dry only, it will do an actual spin only cycle first before commencing drying, but you can actually just turn it off. Obviously we've got plus, minus, normal, and then this one, but unfortunately in the manual it doesn't really actually describe what it does. It's an hour 27, it looks like just to be like an air refresh, but it could also just be time drying for an hour and a half. Obviously you can dry up to 6 kilo, but obviously if you're drying a smaller load, I suppose you'd use this option to save time. For some reason all the options have come up here, but none of them are selectable. Why don't you just turn them off like they've done with the temperature? Bit unusual. And then we've got rinse and spin only. It will do 1 rinse and then a full final spin up to 1400 RPM. You can do spin only, you can go all the way up to 1400 RPM, this is a full fast spin. And we've got the jean cycle, which uses more water than the other cycles. It's about the same length as synthetics. You can interestingly go up to 90 degrees, and again you can add the quick option like so. Yeah, it's exactly the same as synthetics, but it uses more water. Drying isn't available for it, which is a bit unusual considering it can go up to 90 degrees. And we've got colours. Now, temperature doesn't come up, but that's because it's preset at cold, remember. But we can go up to 30 degrees, we can go up to 1200 RPM. It's made for a half load, so no more than 4 kilo of lightly soiled laundry of delicate colours. We've got the wool cycle, max load, about 2 kilo. It does a short, slower spin, that's limited to 800 RPM, opposite 40 degrees because it's wool. It's a gentle action cycle to protect your woolens. Delicates, again made for about 2 kilo. Does a gentle action, but more with a very high water level. It's more agitation than wool. It's obviously a short wash, goes up to 30 degrees, and the max spin's only limited to 600 RPM. There is other options for it, so you can add a pre-wash, you can add intensive, etc. Not the time save. Then we've got the quick cycle, again, max load, 2 kilogram. Goes up to 800 RPM. You can have cold, but interestingly we can go up to 40 degrees. At least on this cycle it will heat, and it might not hit 40, but would definitely beyond 30 degrees at the end of the cycle. At least that's what the 12 kilogram one did anyway. Interestingly, by going up to 40 degrees, you get a longer wash as well. So the actual main wash now is around 14 minutes long. If you have it on cold, it's less than 5 minutes long. Then we've got Sportswear, but it's also known as Express Wash, and it allows you to wash lightly soiled laundry up to 1200 RPM and up to 60 degrees, but just be aware that obviously 60 degrees then goes to now 15. 20, 30 and 40 will stay at 45 minutes long. I'll do 2 rinses and a fast spin of up to, it's preset at 12, but you can go up to 1400. Then we've got the Cotton Eco program at 60 degrees, or we can have 40. It allows you to wash 8 kilograms of laundry using the least amount of energy, the least amount of water, whilst washing up to heavily soiled laundry. It's 4 hours 52. The main wash is around 4 hours long before it even starts any of the rinses. But interestingly, the energy rating for this is only a B, which is a bit concerning. So in other words, basically, when you work out the energy consumption of a washer dryer, they will do a full load on Cotton Eco, as per normal, then split the load 6 kilo and 2 kilo on the dry only cycle. So either the dryer on this is very uneconomical in comparison to other washer dryers, or the energy rating for the wash on Cotton Eco is only an A. Now, I'd expect it when it's 4 hours 52 to be something like A+++, because that's what the 12 kilogram one is like. That's 4 hours long, and that is A+++, minus 30% thanks to the motor. And the standard washing machines are also A++ anyway. So, yeah, a bit of an unusual one, this. Right, so when we open up the detergent drawer, we've got 3 compartments. We have our pre-wash, our fabric softener in the middle, and our main wash. Now, interestingly, if we're putting liquid detergent in, we can just flick this round, like so, and that is a liquid guide with a little escape chute through the middle, so liquid detergent doesn't hang around in here, and then we can push it out of the way. That is pretty neat. I've only seen a handful of other washing machines that have a pretty neat system like this. So we're going to put our powder in the main wash and our fabric softener in the middle there. We have maximum line, it's basically the tip of the blue. Obviously I put about 18 mil in and it's nowhere even near. I think maximum level is around 75 mil, don't quote me. You got up to about 200 mil here because there's about 80 mil there, and around 100 mil in the pre-wash. So we're going to select synthetics, 60 degrees. We're going to put normal drying on. Going to go up to maximum spin. I'm going to save some time. Yes. Right, ready. Now the wash light has started flashing here. When that's complete, it will move on to rinse and that light will go out and that will flash, and then when that's complete, that will stop flashing, that will go out, and the spin light will flash. And when that's complete, that will go out as well. That results then. Well, everything's dry, but it was dry, and now there's another 50 to go. And instead of like cooling down, the machine just carries on. Granted that the heat isn't actually high enough, and everything is pretty crease free. And that is one good thing about this machine. Despite this being a washer dryer, creasing doesn't, it occurs, but it's not as bad as other brands. That also being said, because it doesn't shut off, it will take 3 hours to dry anything, big or small. I like the fact you've got more options than the washers, which is a bit unusual. You've got 5 wash options instead of 3. Obviously less programs, but it's nice to have the 1 hour wash and dry, for example. That's pretty cool. So what will we give this out of 10 then? I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. The dryer side is really, really good, just that it kind of doesn't really sense anything. But also the other downside is the fact when it spins. So when it spins with a full load, it will obviously gain suds, and it will then spend 15 minutes just sitting there not really doing anything, and then attempts to do the same spin again. And if that fails, it'll do it again, adding hours onto the cycle. And that's probably more caused down to the drum pattern that it's got with the micro holes. A very common problem with Miele's as well, for the same reason. Although at least Miele can actually cope with the suds. Alright, that's it really. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you again soon.